Hey, welcome to Pat Soundbytes Unplugged podcast, keeping new music alive, rocking the world. Oh my God, guess who I got now? She's on this side. I am a dynamic, a lifetime lover of this guy, John freaking Waite in the house. John Waite, how the hell are you, brother?
Oh, it's great. Life is good. We're on the road. Nice to see you. Well,
Great to see you. The last time we chatted, October of last year, supporting Wooden Nickel, that great three
wooden heart,
CD.
wooden heart.
Wooden Hearts, Wooden Nickel,
Yeah,
Wooden
yeah,
Hearts. And then I got, of course, I got the shirt, I got the poster, got to get it back in my frame.
that's
I
great.
mean, come on, everybody's got to buy a little something. So you look great. I know you're on the road. You got, I mean, for a fanatic like me, John, that loves everything you do, you got the EP that came out.
Thank you
Uh,
very much. Anything, yeah, yeah.
Anything, you got the single CD, and then we're going to talk about the documentary that I got
Sure,
behind me the hard way.
sure.
Let me start with the EP, John. Anything came out in May. I love anything. I love Lifeguard. Grenadine was a little pretty cool. It was a little bit more bluesy. I
Yeah,
kind of took it, and then of course, Darling, and I felt like it was a balance with the four tunes, a little happy summertime, and then when you get into Grenadine, you get into Darling, it was a little bit, and then you got, if you do the download and do the bonus track, I know you're a big
yeah,
fan of Bob Dylan, Masters of War. Boy, does
yeah.
that fit in where we are today. So sad.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll shut up. I'll let you speak, my man.
Well, the EP, we had some songs sitting around, and it just felt like time to put something out. We'd been sitting through lockdown and COVID and all that. I'd managed to put out the Wooden Heart triple CD, the acoustic, but it was time for something new, you know. And yeah, and and me and Anthony Kryzan, an old friend and guitar player of mine, we had a couple of songs in the vaults, and we started mixing them. And I wrote "Darling" on the sort of spur of the moment to go with the other three songs. But it's a really good little EP. I mean, it bounces around from anything to Lifeguard, which is kind of a summer kind of, sexy little song. And then Grenadine, which is like a late night blues kind of barroom
Like a
lonesome.
jam session thing.
Yeah, it was. We'd finished working and we were tired, we'd had a glass of wine, it was time to go home, but we're still playing. And that came out. So we kept it and then worked on that the next day and it was done. And then I wrote Darling to kind of go with the other three. And Masters of War with the Ukraine thing, I just felt like everybody felt, which is a vague sense of disappointment and anger and as I keep saying, the strange thing about Masters of War, it was extremely relevant when I was a kid, when I was 14, 15. It knocked you sideways, that song. And here we are 50 years later, and it's just the same. So,
How,
and the song's just as meaningful now as it was then. So I recorded that. We played it at a benefit for the Ukrainian Red Cross or something. We did it, me and Mark, the guitar player, and then I went in and recorded it. But you know, you do what you can. And like I said, we've been to Holland. We just got back, 7 shows in Holland, sold out. Came right back. I came back through England to see my mum, then came back to Massachusetts and played at a big county fair, and then went home for a week and came straight back out. But there's a lot going on. We've got the documentary coming up December the 6th. So it's kind of like, I'm just keeping my head down and singing. I mean, I'm trying to just get the job done.
I know when we talked in October, it was so like, even this whole COVID thing, you were just looking at the jump at the bit, man. It's like we
Yeah,
all look at each other going, are we ever going to go to a live show again? Are we ever going to do a meet and
yeah.
greet? I mean, we take it all for granted, but for an artist like yourself to get back on the road, everybody loves you, John, singing back the songs to you and putting a smile on your face. And you're always busy and you're always great with the fans. And I can't ever thank you enough. And yeah, anything I thought was a fun summer type of deal. And like I said, Grenadine brought me into like a bluesy nightclub with a jam. I know
Yeah,
you're a big fan of Bob Dylan like me. And
yeah,
yeah, I
sure.
mean, Masters of War. To look at where we are today, the poor people in Ukraine and this knucklehead, this I could use other words from Mr.
Yeah,
Asshole from
no, it's
Russia
not.
that we're killing people. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
we need more
genocide.
positivity and love, and we got this people just wiping out people. It just I can go on and curse my. It just drives me crazy. I pray for those people.
Yeah, me
We
too.
need to pray for peace for Christ's sake, and none of this BS with guns and violence. Oh my God, John.
Yeah, it's not the answer to it. Like I said before about the disappointment, you think that the world has come further than it has, and we're still doing the same tired old stuff. But that's genocide, and it bothers me that the UN or NATO didn't really make a bigger showing. It's okay providing arms, but he has the entire Russian army. Although they're decimated at the moment, he's lost. Putin has lost half his army. Half his
But it's
army.
just crazy that we can't get along. Today's world, we got the best of everything. And then you know, we're a button away from destroying everything.
I
Over
know.
what? You know, over land, over politics. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? But
Yeah,
anyway, let's stay positive, John. Thank you for what you
yeah.
do. And I know
Thank
you
you.
got a show tonight in New Hampshire. You're coming to New York tomorrow night at the City Winery, and you're going to Long Island on Saturday. New York loves you. I mean, look, there's a piece of the Big Apple in your heart. I know you love New York. When you lived here, it was a great time for you that you shared with me. And New York City. What was it? New York City Girl. It's
Yeah, we're doing
yeah.
that. We put that back in the set last week, and it's just great. And we're doing downtown.
Ah,
It was a tremendous period. I mean, it's a while ago now, but it was when New York was really raging and in its own glory. Everywhere you went, there was something going on. The people were. It was like a hive of energy. There's always somebody playing somewhere that was great. People were really kind of friendly to each other, and times are hard. And I think the economy and everything and COVID, it's kind of restated how we live. And I'm sure that things will righten themselves. But right now, it seems like the world is on a seesaw. It just does.
ah.
And New York is kind of just a very violent place right now. But I still love the place. I mean, I could move back there tomorrow. I,
We love to have you back. It's that roller coaster ride. You know, things just keep going in full circle. We went through this once before,
yeah,
and then we kind of cleared the way. But I remember you were saying back in the city, you could jam with anybody. You go, you know, Patty Smythe, or you run into somebody, or
yeah,
go into any of the clubs. I remember you told me you were hanging out with Stevie Wonder. You know, you could go
yeah.
any club and just have a good time. And I
Yeah, no,
mean,
it's like it's like tracks up on the Upper West Side, 72nd Street. I mean, I actually got to play with Townsend in there and Marriott, Steve Marriott.
oh, Steve
That
Marriott, wow.
Yeah, but that was how it works. You go out for a drink and you just sat with friends, and one of these guys would walk in, and it'd be like, "How are you doing? Yeah, do you want to get up and yeah, okay." The next thing you know, you're in some fantastic uh, jam session with somebody that you've listened to all your life, and then it'd be like, "That was great." See you down the road. It wasn't a big deal, and but music changes. And I think maybe that era has kind of moved. It's not really what was what. I think we've moved on to that into more specialist kind of music. I don't know what it is kids are listening to, but there's a lot of stuff going on.
But thank God we have the music, John. I said to Edgar Winter the other day, I love Edgar, and I said to him, you know, I can go to a theater and there's 100 people, strangers, and I have no idea who they are. But for an hour and a half or 2 hours, we're all friends. It don't matter what
Yeah,
color you are, who you are, you're high fiving.
yeah,
I can see John Waite and Rick Springfield or whoever in Europe at a 30,000 seat stadium and strangers, and we're all high fiving each other. And it would
yeah,
be so much if we can just carry that smile, that enthusiasm, that energy beyond the show. If we didn't have music, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd be pulling my hair. I don't have much hair, John, but
Yeah,
I'd be pulling my hair out of my head.
no, I mean, you see the Rolling Stones touring the world, and everywhere they go, and they go some exotic places. It's like the biggest thing that ever happened to that country, and people just it unites everyone. And the Stones songs are edgy and dark. They're not feel good songs in the
Right.
sense of like, hey, you know, I mean, they're dark songs, but they're primal and they're intelligent. And I mean, God, the Stones, you know, but when they show up, hundreds of thousands of people come to the show. They have to like do it outside, put TV cameras up, and there they are, you know, there they are. It's like the Statue of Liberty, you know, it's like a torch or something, and everybody like looks towards that. And man, when you look back at the great bands of the world, what the Stones have done for rock and roll is pretty outrageous.
It's funny. I know Bernard Fowler, and
Oh
Bernard
yeah,
been with the Stones for 30 years, and I always say to Bernard, "What's the craziest show you've been to?" Now he could add Cuba to the list, but he said flying into Rio with a million people, a helicopter literally have to get in because we have
yeah,
no other way to get in, and seeing the people just he says, I will never forget
yeah.
that
The
image.
Rio thing was just like, you know, you just don't come across that. It doesn't matter who is playing or if it's a festival. Nobody ever draws the crowd that they draw, and for
Talk
good
to me.
reason.
I know you have the best of, and you put out single 24 song CD,
Yeah,
which covers pretty much everything. A lot of different versions, live versions, and acoustics. What was
yeah,
the idea behind just keeping relevant and keeping stuff
yeah.
going?
Yeah, there was stuff on that album like New York City Girl that wasn't
Yeah,
on the best album, and The Hard Way, the song that was the single off the Hard Way album, that wasn't um, available unless you bought the album. It was just like a reconfigured uh, greatest hits, and it's been really popular. I'm glad I did it, but it's getting that time, you know. The four songs that came out, anything in the summer, it's time to start thinking about a new record. And over the Christmas holidays coming up, I think I'm gonna see what I can do in the studio just to keep my hand in, you know.
it's crazy to know that Ignition is 40th anniversary of that album.
Whoa.
It's like, wow. I remember when it came out, I had hair up my ass and going, I gotta get a copy of that. But my favorite album, John, and I said it before to you, Temple Bar. There's
Yeah,
nothing like Temple Bar. Downtown. Oh my goodness. I just love that whole album.
that was
Uh,
New York. That was an album written about New York and In God's Shadow. We've just been rehearsing more. We're gonna play more tonight. It's great, you know. You go back, it's as if my life started again after Bad English. I had like 2 years off before I recorded again. And I had time to think about what I actually wanted to do with the talent that I had, you know. And when you come out of a band after like 2 years, you really are focused on who you are. You remember who you are. Because being in a band is a lot of compromise. Being solo is a whole different thing. And I really wanted to smash it. You know, I wanted to come back with something really powerful. And I don't think I've made that album twice. It was a difficult album to actually, it was easy. I got to say, the writing of it took a long time, but the recording was only like 3 weeks. And I, for the first time, worked with the great Jeff Golub and Shane Fontaine and Tony Beard, who I'd seen play in the Marquee Club in London when I was 21.
wow.
I saw Tony and I said, one of these days I'm going to play with him. And all these years later, he was living in New York and I found him and he played on that record. So it was really that record was like all the good things in the world coming together. It was just
I don't think you get enough credit. I mean, yeah, we can talk about the Babies and Bad English, but your solo album, your solo stuff, I should say, is remarkable. I mean,
thank you.
I
Thank you very
just
much.
I love it all. I mean, Bluebird Cafe. I mean, oh
Yeah,
my
Bluebird
goodness.
Cafe. I mean, but it's great though. It's we're just talking about it. It's great to be slightly under the radar. We don't have to deal with the horse shit of the music business, you know.
Right.
I can call the shots, record when I want. I have a distributor who puts the albums in the stores, and we're playing all over the world, and we're doing very, very well. But we don't have to be part of the music business. And I know that comes off a bit like, know, I'll be famous tomorrow, But we were just talking about it today. If the Hard Way, the movie, takes off, my obscurity or my choice of being in the show, that's going to be questionable again. I'm going to have to like get out there and, the Dog and Pony Show. And I don't know if that's really where I want to go. But, this time around, I think we're all ready for it. If anything great happens that's bigger, I think we're all capable of dealing with it. And the older you get, I think the more easier it is to talk to people and be accessible. I don't think you're threatened by fame or whatever. It's just like it's what it is. And I think if it happens again, like with more interest, I think it'll be a smoother thing.
Oh, yeah. I like the fact that you put out anything and it wasn't a 15-song album thing.
Well, you can't,
people are putting out EPs and putting out a song and a video. The album thing, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me anymore.
Well,
I like 4 or 5 songs, and that's good for me.
No, I think people these days have just about enough in them to listen to like 4 or 5 songs. I think an album of 10, 12 songs now, with the way that everything is so accessible with streaming, if you release 4 songs, you can hold someone's attention for 20 minutes. I mean, I think that's great. I mean, I remember when I was a kid getting the Beatles EPs, they were like junior versions of the albums, like Beatles for Sale and stuff like that. There'd be No Reply and all this stuff, I'm a Loser. But I couldn't afford the albums, but I could, if I saved up, get the EPs. And the EPs had the best songs on, So I never fell out of love with the EP. And I think it's more relevant now than it was then.
Absolutely. I happen to agree with you. One song, you want another one, and you want another one, but after the 4th or 5th song, you're good to go. I like the cover of anything. I like that collection of your items. My wife calls me a hoarder, but I'm like, no, I keep taking stuff from 1970s. I got stuff. I'm like, I put a big smile on my face when I saw the cover of that.
I was talking to the guy who was going to do the layout for the album cover, and we didn't have a photograph. I hadn't done a recent photo session, and I had him on the phone, and I said, "I'll come up with something." I put the phone down. I said, "I'll call you back," and I ran in the back, and there's a shoebox full of bits and pieces of rings and buttons and chains and tickets.
Really, your history? Really looking back at history.
Yeah, stuff that I couldn't throw away. A picture of my girlfriend, it's like, and I put them all on a table. Just moved him around a bit to make it look like it knew what it was doing, and photographed it and sent him it. And the next day I got the album cover back. So
perfect.
Yeah, that kind of thing works. Just spontaneous stuff.
Yeah, and it fits with the title, anything. Because it is a collaboration of anything.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that actually, but that's good. Yeah.
Talk to me about this documentary. This is a no hold bar.
Oh.
John at his best. Get out of my way, you effing asshole. I got to do what I got to do. Fire away. This is me, my career, my life. You want to video me? Bring it on.
No, it was like that. I mean, I got this phone call saying, "Do you want to do this documentary?" And I said, if I do, it has to be kind of truthful. I don't want it to be like a promotional piece.
Right.
That stuff is promotion pieces that for somebody's career, and my life's been very interesting. I think it's been unbelievably colorful life, and there's been moments when it's swerved almost into the ditch and came back on track. And there's albums that come out, do nothing. The next one, it goes through the roof. The Bad English, the Babies, the whole thing, Missing You. And so I just told the truth as much as I could. I really didn't throw anybody under the bus, but I could have. But a couple of people that were hugely negative, we addressed that pretty coldly. Look, I just told the truth. I just did. And I have nothing to do with it. They're trying to get me to do interviews for it, and it's not my work. You know, I did 2 days of interviews, and then some outdoor stuff, and the rest of it's archival. You know, live stuff, pictures of my ex-wife, New York City. You know, it's just my mom and dad. It's all in there. You know, but I didn't want to have any input. But it's somebody else's work. You know, it's somebody else's film.
Look, you have an amazing, colorful, artful life. We've all had our hurdles up and down, left and right, but I think it's exciting. I think it's interesting. I know you love to read. I know you love art. I know you care a lot. You know, I've like I said, I've been a fan forever with your music. I love your voice after all these years. And I know you told me you don't even do any warm-ups. You're in the dressing room tonight. And it is what it is, but you know, there is that chance you go on stage and look at Tim going, "Uh-oh," but God has blessed you.
Well, no, I've actually been under the weather for about a month, and I've been on antibiotics. But you find when you're on stage, all of that stuff seems to disappear pretty quickly. You're in the moment, and you know, after the first song or two, you're really about as good as you've ever been. There's something about the adrenaline. And actually, I think it's age. I think it's wisdom. I think it's kind of a physical wisdom that you get as a singer. I don't doubt myself at all. Whereas I think I was nervous before this, you know, but I can sing and I enjoy it, and the crowd enjoy it. So,
oh my God, yes. I know you read a lot. Have you had any time to go back and do a little artwork?
Yeah, we have. I've been doing some more. We sell it on at the gigs. We have like sort of like a cartoon of me, but it's like only meant to be like a deluxe autograph. You know, it's something to take home, nail on the bathroom wall or something. I don't know. But if you go to John Waite Worldwide, there's more serious stuff. But I was counting up the artwork that we've sold. And there's over like 300 pieces.
Wow.
There's more than that because it's like 200 on the website and maybe 200 on the road. It's a considerable amount of money and it's a lot of work. But there's a lot to see. A lot to see.
Well, look, dude, I love, like I said, I love everything you do. Go and buy the EP, anything. If you haven't, check out Singles. And I can't wait for December 6th to watch the documentary. But John is in New Hampshire tonight. He's coming back to New York tomorrow at the City Winery. Get your tickets. He's going to the island of Long Island, the Suffolk Theater on Saturday. And I think, because I'm tied up tomorrow and Saturday, I might just take a ride to see this guy in Bethlehem on Sunday. I gotta go. I gotta see you, John. I got to see you
in person. You know, just show up, man.
Yeah, I am like Sunday is my day, and I'm taking a little 2-hour ride to see my man John Waite. You can go to johnwaiteworldwide.com and check out all the dates. Support this incredible, amazing. He's a legend for great. I mean, he's a legend. I mean, look, come on. As crazy Italian that I am, this is the guy. John, thank you. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much.
Oh, absolutely. It's always good to see you. You know, you got great energy and you're the real thing, and you know, we love you. But come by Sunday.
I will definitely do that. Coming out to Bethlehem on Sunday to see John Waite and Tim and Mark. And I want to say Roger on the drums, right?
No, now we've got Alan Childs.
Well, yeah.
Alan was in the No Brakes band in the 80s.
Okay.
Then he joined Bowie, and he's had a career all over. But he's back.
Okay.
It sounds wonderful. You know?
Excellent. Well, I can't wait. It doesn't get any better than this. The amazing John Waite in the house right here on Pat Soundbytes. Killing it, keeping the music alive right here. Go out and get this stuff today.
I'm John Waite, and the decisions I made, I think were honest. And I think I've tried to do
in this crazy world of the music business. I think I've done it with a sense of integrity and honesty. I really do. And if I've been out of step, it's because I thought the work was more important than the business.
This one's about making your mind up at the right time in your life.
You two guys, really. There's a real exchange with the audience. I haven't seen my audience for a year. It never affected me, really. If you believe that, I have a used car outside.